Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. If this is your first time checking out a video, please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. We're watching a clip of First Take with none other than Shannon Sharpe, and it looks like we got some booger, and I don't know if we'll listen to any of the other people, but we'll see what happens. I saw this question, so I really wanted to do this clip where it's saying, is Jerry Jones asking Dak Prescott to do too much? Now, my head might explode here because I really need some clarification as to what does this question, what are we actually asking? Asking him to do too much as in like take a pay cut, or do too much as in like on the field, to be better? Like, I don't really understand the question 100%, so I don't have a ton to talk about before we start the clip, but either way, the answer, should be no. Like, it boggles my mind, because if Dak Prescott is amazing and is worth $60 million, then you're obviously not asking him to do too much. And if he's not worth $60 million, then asking him to not take all that money is not asking him to do too much. Not to mention, they give him a great offense and a great defense with the Super Bowl winning head coach. And so it's like asking him to do too much. Like, you're giving him the resources. Like, people always talk about how great the Cowboys are, and yet then they fail. And so it's like, well, which is it? Are they a great team, or are they not a great team? So I'm really curious to see what they have to say. So we'll take a listen and we'll unpack it from there.
Asking Dak to do too much, Shannon.
I thought they were all in. Booger, you remember after that loss to Green Bay and Mike McCarthy at the draft, we're all in.
Sorry. It says, I think we have been in a situation where we can get it done with lesser. Oh boy. We're going to be asked to do some things different because we've got some different players. Oh, Cowboys, I am sorry. This is not going to be your season.
On this season, then all of a sudden, Stephen Jones comes out and says, that means we're all in on our guys, the Micahs and the CeeDee Lamb. Now you're saying we need to do more with less. So let me get this straight, Booger. I'm struggling to feed my family of 4, and now I get a pay cut, and now I'm asked to do more with that money. I got less money, but you want me to do more. So in other words, the talent, we had more, we didn't win, we're going to give you less, Dak, and we want you to win more. I need somebody to help me make sense of this, because it makes absolutely none to me. Look, if you're going to talk about, so if you want to do less and win more, but that doesn't necessarily mean Green Bay, I'm trying to, so what are we doing here? Bug, Mike, can y'all tell me what Jerry and Steven are trying to do? If your objective is not to beat Green Bay, who ramshackled you last year, if your job is not to beat San Francisco, who was the representative in the Super Bowl for the NFC, so what are we talking about? What are we actually doing? I'm confused as to what they're trying to do and the logic behind it.
Well, usually, guys, I think teams that jump out there on the first few days of free agency, they make mistakes. I get it. There's splashes, and we talk about them. Man, the Eagles, and they got Saquon. Man, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Usually, those high-priced deals are mistakes. So I'm not as concerned about the Cowboys' lack of involvement.
The Eagles, the team that has had the second most playoff wins in the last 20 years, second only to the New England Patriots, are all of a sudden making mistakes. Yeah, that's weird. And yet the Cowboys, who haven't been to an NFC championship game in 3 decades, they're just being patient and they know what they're doing. Get the out of here. Like, ridiculous. Off the top, already such an insane, asinine statement. Who would you rather be in the last 10 years? The Eagles, who have been to multiple NFC championship games, multiple Super Bowl appearances, a Super Bowl win, or the Dallas Cowboys, who can't even get past the second round? I wonder.
Involvement in free agency so far. I'm going to judge their offseason once it's complete, after the June 1st free agency period, after the draft. Because right now, they don't have a running back. They're missing some key pieces on defense. They need a big defensive tackle, among other things. So I'll judge them at that point. To the point where Jerry is saying, we need everybody to do more. We need our young players to step up and do more. We need Dak Prescott to do more. He's right. To whom much is given, much is expected. We expect these guys that are making this money, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, DeMarcus Lawrence, our stars have to be stars when you're making $15, $20 million a year. So I truly understand what Jerry's saying, because these guys want to be paid like the top at their position. We've been talking on this network all offseason. When is Dak Prescott going to get a new contract? Dak has the Cowboys over the fire. And I truly understand all that. But at some point, if you're the owner, if you're the GM, and all these guys are stars and at the top of their position, don't you have to ask them to play better? Shouldn't you improve year over year? Shouldn't your level of play take a step up each and every year, especially when you're in your prime? So I understand what Jerry's saying.
How do you understand what Jerry's saying? Because if they're not playing better football under really ideally perfect circumstances with a great team, with a team that's firing on all cylinders, with a great DC, OC, offensive head coach, whatever, and yet you're still underperforming, why are you now expecting them to be able to do better with less? Kind of like what, Shannon said about, eating. Like, it makes no sense. Yes, you expect them to be better, but they are not better. They're Dak Prescott. This blows my mind. Dak Prescott has been in this league for years now. This isn't his second, third, fourth year here. He's been in the league for years. He's not going to magically just take a step up, okay? He's not just going to magically just be the best NFL player, best quarterback in the NFL. Like what are we talking about here? And he's already had, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb. He has a Super Bowl winning head coach, offensive-minded head coach, okay? He won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, okay? It was good enough for Aaron Rodgers. It's not good enough for Dak. I don't know what to tell you, man. So this whole idea is just absurd. It really is. It just doesn't make sense. Dak has had the weapons. He's had the resources. He's had it. The defense, Dan Quinn, unbelievable defensive coordinator, and is now, going to be a head coach again because of how good he did on defense. And yet the defense failed and got embarrassed by the Packers. The offense, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, got embarrassed by the Packers, got embarrassed by the 49ers. So this idea that they're just going to magically play better next season, what's what we expect from these players? Yes, that's what you expect from truly elite players. Maybe the reality is that they're just not truly elite, especially Dak Prescott. I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind. I'm not saying that Micah is not elite or Micah is not amazing, because I do think he's great. But again, 1 minute Micah's saying, we can beat anyone. We're just as good as anyone. We got this. And then when they lose, he says the Cowboys need to do more and get us better, get us better players and whatnot. And it's like, well, wait a second. You told me that everything was dandy. You said that your team was great, that you can beat anyone. And now you're saying you don't have enough? Honestly, the Cowboys are insane with these with these excuses. I was just talking to someone in the comment section yesterday about this. About that. I love Cowboys fans because you guys are really passionate and you care a lot. And it's a big, massive market, and so it's fun. And I said, it's very similar to the Eagles fans, really big, passionate, want to see your team win. Not all franchises, not all fan bases are like that. But the difference is that Cowboys fans are filled with excuses, filled with endless excuses. And it's kind of mind blowing to me, because Philadelphia Eagles fans on the other side they want people's heads on a spike. Like, they hold the players and the coaches in the front office, they hold their feet to the fire. Okay, they want everyone gone. Because they don't allow Dak Prescott to have that game, or Micah Parsons to have that game, or McCarthy or Dan Quinn, like whoever. They're just like, this is unacceptable. The fans in the stands can't care more than the players and the coaches on the field. That's like unacceptable. in Philadelphia. And, say what you will about Philly, but they are consistently competitive. They are consistently winning playoff games. They are going to NFC championship games, Super Bowls. They've been to the same number of Super Bowls in the last 10 years than Dak Prescott has playoff wins. Okay? Think about what I'm saying here. That's insane. That's insane. The Eagles have been to the same number of Super Bowls than Dak Prescott just has playoff wins. It's absurd. So why do you not want your team to do more? Why do you not hold the team accountable? Why is Booger McFarland making these excuses? It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes zero sense to me.
And I think as fans, we have to sit back, and as analysts, we have to judge the Cowboys offseason or the fact that they're all in once this is complete. We haven't even gotten to the draft yet, guys. Let's get through the draft, see who they draft, see where they are, see who they add at the end of free agency, and see who they go to training camp with, and then we can judge the Cowboys based on the comment. I think we're rushing to judgment based on our opinions of what all in is, and based on our involvement of the headlines. Hey, they haven't signed X, Y, Z as far as a player.
My head. Seriously,
Booger, if somebody. Mike, I'm gonna let you go, Booger. If somebody says when the next time I see Booger, it's on site, they walk up to you and slap you, and then you say, "Well, I don't know. I didn't know what he meant." He said that. Jerry Jones said they're going to be all in. He said that. It ain't no ESPN analyst.
Right. Now, Shannon, what all in can mean also is, hey, we're going to keep Micah Parsons. We're going to keep CeeDee Lamb. What they're asking Dak Prescott to do is the very definition of greatness. Look at Kansas City. Tyreek Hill graduates, arguably the best receiver in the NFL. What do? They win back-to-back championships. So when more of the money is going to less of the players, you expect your great players to do more. And that's exactly what Dak Prescott's job description is.
I can't. I've said this so many times now, but I guess we just need to keep repeating it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I want you. I'm gonna be like Stephen A. Now I want no more, and I don't like Stephen A. But no wonder why Stephen A. says, "Put the camera on me. Put the camera on me. Let me bring it down like this." Dak Prescott is not Patrick Mahomes. They are not even remotely similar. So you want to, not to mention, Patrick Mahomes takes less money. Dak Prescott wants more money than Patrick Mahomes. So you want Dak Prescott to take more money than Patrick Mahomes, to not play as well, not even close, as Patrick Mahomes, and yet you want him to win like Patrick Mahomes. What are you talking about? And also now, if you want to defend Dak Prescott and say, what are you talking about? And now in terms of defending Dak, it's like, well, Patrick Mahomes has freaking Andy Reid. He's got the best head coach in the history of the NFL, at the very least, the best offensive head coach in the history of the world. And he has a first ballot Hall of Famer, the first or second best tight end in the NFL. Has an amazing offensive line, had the best defense in the NFL this last season. So don't act like Patrick Mahomes just put everyone on his back and won those games himself. He had a completely average quarterbacking year. That was a defensive-led championship. Nick Wright, mega super fan, even admits that. So that's insane. That take is insane from both sides. No matter how you want to look at it, whether you're defending Dak or you want to call out Dak, it's insane. So, oh my God. I don't know. I don't even know, honestly. This is me genuinely worked up, because sometimes when you hear just such stupid things, it makes my head explode. That's why I don't really watch. That's why my favorite show personally is like Colin Cowherd and The Herd, because it's so much more of a chill show. And he doesn't say, I understand if you don't agree with everything he says, but his takes aren't, for the most part, just blatantly insane, asinine, absurd, the dumbest thing that. But like Booger's like, let's just be patient and see what the Cowboys are doing. Anyone who makes moves in the free agency usually makes bad moves. Oh, like Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. Okay, sure, right, yes. Let's call out the Eagles, who have been an incredibly successful organization, especially for the last 10, 15 years. Yes, let's act like Hollywood Brown was a bad acquisition for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, okay, got it. And the Dallas Cowboys, who have done nothing in 30 years, who got walloped in the first round against the youngest team in like 50 years of the Packers, we're supposed to give them the patience when they're changing their tune, when they're saying, we're going all in. We're going all in on the players. We need them to take less. We're all in on the players, except we might let Dak walk in free agency next year. Like, what are we talking about here? Because I honestly, if I was a Cowboys fan, I would be furious. I really would. I would be so upset and not optimistic about this next season. The way this last season ended, the fact that like there's real no true changes, and he's like, let's just see what they do in the draft. What magical thing are they doing in the draft? They're going to draft players. Yeah, some of the players are going to be good. Some of them may even be great. Some of them will be like, nah, nothing. That's how the draft works. So this idea that like the draft is going to come along and like, oh my God, the Cowboys drafted unbelievably. Did you see who they got? No one could have seen this coming. It's not how drafts work. So like, I don't understand. You know, it's like if they make some crazy splash move where they trade Dak Prescott and a bunch of picks and they get Caleb Williams, yes, then I am sorry, Booger, you were right. I was wrong. I'm not under the impression that that's what's going to happen. If it does, then my God, that would be pretty wild. But that's not going to happen. So I'm not even going to entertain something ridiculous like that. So I just don't understand the argument. This whole clip was really, really absurd. And I do not get it. So if you get it, please let me know in the comments below. Do you think Jerry Jones is asking too much of Dak Prescott? Let me know in the comments below whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, I read every single comment. So let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here. And I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. And I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please, if you made it this far, that means you like this video, you like this channel, you subscribe, you want to be part of it. So please give this video a thumbs up. It really, really does help with the visibility and the algorithm and helps with the growth. So I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much and see you next time.